Hey everybody, how are you? My name is Dr. Heather Carden. I am coming to you live from Ask Dr. Heather. If you are brand new to my page is here to help you find tools and resources to help you optimize your life. As my page has developed and I've gotten more followers, I have had the amazing blessing of people telling me their amazing transformation stories. So my question today to you as I start my challenge of my 21st day of 30-day lives, if you guys have not done that, you might try it. It can put you a little bit out of your norm. As we get started here today, if you had a new normal, what would that look like? Oftentimes we go through crisis modes where something happens. Maybe you have a flat tire and your whole day gets shifted. Or maybe you get fired from your job, which causes you to have financial issues and you have to actually maybe leave your job or leave your house or sell your house and move to an apartment. I mean, there's all sorts of things that can happen. Maybe you have someone pass away in your life. That can be a new normal for you. And as our friends start to jump on here, know that you can always share the content from this page. My page is meant to inspire and give you tools and resources to help optimize your life. So I'm going to focus this week on inspiration. We're going to talk with Tammy here in just a few minutes and hear about her new normal. And I promised her that I would reciprocate with her. I'm also going to hopefully connect tomorrow with Tanya Collins, whose husband Josh Collins is Operation Torrent. He is crushing the race right now on his 720-mile paddleboard race through Alaska. You can see the first leg of the race. He had 26 days to make it, and he made it in just over 4 days. So he's crushing those big waves out there and doing an amazing job. So jump over there. But today I have a very special guest as she jumps on here. So think about that for a second. You know, if all had things happen in our life, we all have a story, and everyone's story is important. But today we get to talk to someone who had a new normal that she thought would not be a new normal. So if you've ever had a health crisis and you were told that this was going to be your prognosis, then something else radically changed and your prognosis changed, just think what that does for your life. So again, I know people's names on here. I don't want to call out names. I was told not to do that, but Tammy, just say hi to us and we will get you on here. So Tammy Booth Whitseth is going to join me in just a minute. So Tammy, just type hi or hello. And it's going to be extra special because Tammy is also a deaf interpreter. So we're going to get to reach a lot of people today with our message about people's new normal. There, Tammy said hi. I'm going to bring her to the screen. If you guys haven't tried inviting someone to the screen, it's like waiting. It's like the doorbell rings and then you have to walk to get the door. So it's fun, exciting. Hey, Tammy, thanks for joining me.
Hello. Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard how we started out today, but today's topic is about having a new normal. And so can you hear me?
Hold on just a second. Yeah, for some reason my Bluetooth is not picking up what it needs to. Where's the, oh, there.
You guys are suspense, right? So what's happening? Tammy is a deaf interpreter, so she's going to allow me to, again, reach more friends and family. And Dave, thanks for letting me call you out, because as Dave was going down a health journey of being under 50 years old, having a stroke and being diagnosed with diabetes, he has absolutely reversed that. So pop over to Dave's story for his story. So let's start again. Hi, Tammy, and welcome to Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you too.
So I kind of preface this by really being blessed for you to share your story with us. And today's really about a new normal. You know, oftentimes things happen in our life and we're maybe going to have, we talked about, you know, maybe your house burns down and that's a brand new normal for you. Or you get a health sentence, that can be a brand new normal for you. So I know that I'm going to ask a little bit of personal stuff from you and ask a little bit about your health condition and what a new normal looks like for you. And I'm going to try not to cry. Cried yesterday, not going to cry today, but you know, community and connections bring people together. So tell us a little bit about your health history and what you were diagnosed with 20 some years ago and what's happened. Well, we'll just stop there. So what do you have? What rare neurological disease do you have? I don't even know how you spell that out.
Yeah. I have a disease and it's called hereditary spastic paraplegia. But what it means, all put together, is it means that it's hereditary, which it's passed down generation to generation. And then spastic, that part of it, you know what, I don't think I'm going to be able to sign this and talk at the same time. Whew. Anyway, I may have to go back after the live and sign it. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to talk.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
Okay. So the disease I have, hereditary spastic paraplegia. And it's hereditary, and I can't do it without my hands. And it's spastic, which means that all of my muscles have, they're always in spasm, not like a muscle cramp or like you get a Charlie horse, not like that, but more like just a constant spasm, if that makes sense. And then the last part, the paraplegia, that stands for weakness. And so it causes an extreme amount of, or a really severe amount of weakness, and it's from the waist down normally. There are 70 different mutations that can happen with this disease.
And so it's crazy. And you were diagnosed about 28 years ago, 25 years ago?
I found out that I actually had the disease 20 years ago this year.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to fast forward because you and I have a lot of things in common people don't know. I've got my scooter right here, but I transferred to a chair instead, so I could whip my scooter over here. But we'll talk about that later. We'll race. But you know, I think once being in the healthcare field and having patients being diagnosed with something that they know is going to be debilitating, that they know that there is no cure for, and they just give you a piece of paper and they say, "Here, you have something rare. It's going to happen when it happens. We don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen. And when things happen to your body, we'll do a little crisis care. And that's what we can do." And so with something like a paraplegia or something like ALS or something like I have, which is reflex sympathetic dystrophy, it's a progressive muscle weakness. No one has a magic wand to say when things are going to happen and when they're going to get worse. But oftentimes they don't give you what the hope is going to be. So your new normal is an amazing story. So you first sent me a picture on Facebook and you showed me you standing in your bathroom, which for most people is a normal thing for people to do. But, but for people like you and I and millions of other people out there that have some type of dystrophy or progressive muscle weakness, whether it's spastic or not, or whatever the words we want to use, they prepare you for a new normal. They often don't give you hope for a better normal. So tell us what happened 8 years ago or 5 years ago or 8 months ago. You tell it. I'll be quiet. I can't sign for you. I'm too slow.
That happened almost a year ago. Yeah, it's almost been 1 year now. My health had gotten like extremely severe. I had gotten to be where I was most of the time I was in bed, to be honest, or in a chair. I didn't get up. I didn't go out. I didn't go to my kids' activities. I didn't participate in life. I didn't have any friends left. I didn't, because they all go and do their thing. I didn't expect them to not, but I didn't engage either. I just didn't feel like it. I didn't feel good. I hurt all the time. And like you said, with the hope, I didn't have any hope. There was no hope because according to the diagnosis that I'd been given, I was just going to get worse and worse and worse anyway. You know, I felt like this disease had really reduced me to just a life of just existing. I wasn't really part of anything. I wasn't, I just wasn't contributing to life.
So I love
my life.
I love when you,
my family's life, my kids' life. Nothing.
Yeah, and I can totally relate to that because, like, I remember what you said, something that triggered in my mind I won't forget. But you said, for the first time in my life, the disease is not the boss of me. I am the boss of my body. Because, you know, I know what it's like to be trapped in a body that's not doing what you want. I understand the social unengagement, so to speak, where it's just too hard to go to back to school nights and too hard to explain what's going on, and people don't get it because you still look normal, so to speak. But that new normal for you has been an amazing venture. So when you sent me a picture of standing up in your bathroom, I'm like, she's got a cool bathroom. She's got all the stuff, but you're actually up and you're walking now. You're attending a,
No, no, no,
are you walking in water?
no, I'm not walking. No, yes, but I'm crawling in the
Okay.
water. I'm able to engage my hip flexors. But what happened was a year ago, I started drinking. I was introduced to ketones and started drinking them. And it was about, I want to say a month, maybe 6 weeks after I had started drinking them religiously, like every single day. Because after 5 days of drinking them, I forgot to take some of the medicines that helped with the pain and all of that. That's another story altogether. But, and I just had all this energy and I just felt stronger. And so I had gone into the bathroom. TMI here, so anybody.
Everybody goes to the bathroom every day. Everybody
Well,
on here goes.
Yeah, true. So I went into the bathroom and like Dr. Heather said, they're called super poles, and they're poles that go from floor to ceiling, and then they have handles on them. Well, I had not stood by myself in probably 5 years, well, 3 years probably, like lifted my body up and stood there, not by myself. But that day I was like, because mentally I just felt so different and so strong. And so I decided, and I was by myself, and I hadn't like called my husband because at the time it was like evening time. So I hadn't called him to say, I need help yet. And so they were all in the living room. And so I was in the bathroom. And so I stood up and I was like, holy shiitake mushrooms. I stood up and then I was like, I wonder if I can let go. No, there's no way I can let go. Oh my God, I just let go with one hand. I'm standing with one hand. 3 years, had not done that. So I called my son in actually because, and I had already pulled my britches up by myself. Still, 3 years.
New normal, right? This is a new normal story.
Yes. Yes, the things you get excited about now, you're like, oh my gosh. So I put my shoes on the other day by myself. And so because I couldn't like lift, because I couldn't lift my feet up before that to tie them. And so I put my shoes on by myself. So so I called in my son and I'm like, come see this, come see this. He's like, why am I coming to the bathroom with your phone and camera? And I'm like, no, not for the reasons that you think. Come in here. And so he opens the door and he's like, okay. And so I'm like, just wait. And so I stood up and I let go with one hand and went to sign him the I love you hand. And like he almost couldn't even take the picture because like the tears in his eyes and the hope that, oh my gosh, mom might be getting a bit better. She might be getting stronger. Like, I can't believe that. He was like, how did you do that? What happened? And so, yeah, it was pretty freaking remarkable.
And so my thing is, you know, again, we talk about when you get diagnosed with something or your house burns down, anything can create a new normal for you. But when your new normal can actually be better than what you expected, it does create a lot of hope. Our brain is so much stronger than we ever get it credit for, right? Like if the car was parked on your son, you may be able to lift it off your son because that's what we can do when our brain, we get out of the way of our brain. So what ketones do in our body is start helping make those connections, those highways that get shut down from telling your brain to tell your lower body or your legs what to do. So I'm not making any claims. Tammy's not making any claims. We're just sharing a story of what she did in her body. We've studied ketones for over 100 years, so the science isn't new. But my question is, so that was 8 months ago. Did you change your diet at all?
In the beginning, no.
Okay.
I didn't mean to. Okay, so let me back up. I didn't mean to.
Yep.
But I stopped craving any sugar. I stopped craving any carbohydrates. I was just drinking these for the sole reason that it made me feel better. But then I noticed if I did eat sugar or any kind of food that was going to cause more inflammation, that then I felt worse. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, maybe there's something to this ketogenic diet too. So yeah. So now I am what everyone's calling lazy keto because I don't track my macros.
Yep.
But I don't eat anything with sugar. Yeah.
So your new normal today, fast forward, because we went back 20 years of a diagnosis, then we went back, several years when you were really bedbound, not getting out and not really having any strength below the waist, to now you're supporting yourself, you're getting out and going to therapy. You are volunteering and begging people to help me help them, which I love. Can I help you? Can I sign for you? My arm's still have energy today. Let me help you, somebody. And I love that. I absolutely love that. So tell us what your new normal day looks like now compared to what it was 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, you were in bed 15 to 17
Right.
hours. You were not going to the restroom
Yep.
by yourself. You were not going to physical therapy.
Right.
You weren't having great hair days.
That's the keto cream. Let me tell you guys. Oh, please.
It's collagen
Yeah,
for
that's the
sure.
keto cream.
So tell me what
Yes,
your new
yes.
normal looks like.
So my normal day. I get up and I do some of my, I have what's called a miracle morning that I go ahead and do. And then I do some leg exercises or pumps. I have some pneumatic pumps that I put on there. And then really whatever I want to do. Like now I can go and I visit my mom who's in a nursing home, and I just get in my power chair and I just ride up over there, and it's like nothing now.
So let's manage.
Whereas before I had not visited her in almost 3 months before this, and now if I want I can go all the time.
So I'm going to ask you something personal. If this is as good as it gets, are you okay with this?
Yes.
Okay. If you could manifest a next level of new normalcy, what would you manifest? Or what would your vision be? I'm putting her on the spot, guys. We didn't talk about this. She's like, let's talk about it. I'm like, no,
yeah.
I'm just going to ask you questions that I want to know for myself. And I don't know if you can see this, Tammy. Go back and read it. But all your friends are giving you big shout outs. Your skin color is so much better. Your moods are better.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so how old am I?
29.
50. Almost 50. Yeah, 49. Yep. So anyway, my new normal, what would I manifest? Just, I don't know.
Is it
Because
walking? Is it
right now I'm
driving?
so happy. Driving?
Yeah, or walking?
I don't walking. I don't know if I'll ever walk again, but just being able to feel good enough to pour into my family again by doing the physical therapy that I can now.
Yeah.
And then improving on that, continuing to improve on that, because when I walked in the water on my knees, I bawled because I hadn't because it felt like I was walking. Let's put it that way. And that had been 10 or more years since I had stood up and like had arm crutches and walked or whatever. But the knee thing was just incredible.
So have you?
And I was able to do it with my son in the water with me.
How old is he?
One of the times. He is 17 now.
Okay. So my boys are 15, almost 16 to 23. So we have boys about the same age. So I want to keep checking in on you if that's okay. And I promised you a reverse interview. So if you guys have questions for Tammy, I mean, shout them out here. I'm sure she'll pop back on and answer them. I'll pop back on, but they're really for her, because really no matter what's going on in your body, you have to have hope. And hope comes in so many different ways. She never thought it would come in a drink or a powder. And she's great. I mean, like you say, what's your new normal? If this is your new normal, if this is as good as it gets, are you okay with it? And I think anybody with a disease needs to be okay with that. But I also think it's okay to hope for more. I think it's okay to manifest more. And I think when you look back and say where you were a year ago versus where you are now, like how many people you're inspiring now, and how many people that might just listen to this, if there's only a few people on, but somebody shares it and somebody hears something and it brings hope to anything, not just a, progressive muscular disease or any of the genetic chromosome possible, but just hope in any way. that's really what my mission is here tonight. And I think that's what Tammy's mission is, why I wanted to come on, is just to have inspiration. I've been talking about Josh Collins and all he's doing. We'll talk more about him tomorrow with Operation Torrent. But Tammy, you have a huge story. You have a lot of people you can reach through more languages than I can. So thank you for coming on. Is there anything you want to share that I didn't ask you?
Not really. I really just wanted to thank everyone who has been so supportive of me and all of my friends and this community that is part of Prove It. I have never in my life felt more connected and more a part of something than I do with this. I've had friends in my past, and I've always wanted the kind of friends that, you see those two girls are really tight, and I was kind of a loner, to be honest, and I never had friends. Now with Prove It and with this community, I have friends that I never thought I would be able to have, and I just am so immensely grateful to all of you guys. I love you so much. Thank you.
Somebody said crying birds I don't know what Dave said. I'm not even going to say what he said, but I do want to thank you for jumping on here. You and I have had to coordinate this with our not really busy schedules, but our sleeping schedules and our transportation schedules. But everybody has something in common with somebody. We're both boy moms. We both are going to walk someday soon if that's what the Lord wants us to do. I want to drive. You have no idea, but I want to drive.
Oh, I'm sure.
Boys driving me around. But I do want to thank you for being on here. My last question is, what did the doctors say when you tell them what you were doing, that you changed your diet and you ate some coconut oil and you drank a drink and now you're having brand new normals that you never thought that they didn't predict you would ever have? And what about your other family members that are diagnosed with the same genetic abnormality?
Mm-hmm. My brother, or one of my brothers that has it, he's still resistant. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, talk to me in a year, or it's too expensive, or I'm like, you're gonna have excuses until you run out, and then you're gonna, so, but he will because he has to, because this disease, it hits you in your 30s. You don't feel any symptoms until you're 30. And so he's a few years behind me as far as symptoms and all of that, but he's catching up pretty quick. And so he'll start soon. The doctors, well, first, the doctors are just like, well, just keep doing it. Okay. So, but it's the physical therapists. That's the people that have been like, because I was doing therapy before, maybe twice every great once in a while. So then when I came back and I got in the water, and so they were pulling, because I do water therapy, and so they were behind me, pulling me through the water, and before they would want me to try to pull my legs in and out to exercise them. Couldn't do it. That signal was gone. It just wasn't there. So past the reboot, okay, so it was after the reboot, but anyway, still with ketones as well. So I'm laying in the water, I'm getting all, so I'm laying in the water, and she's behind me. She's like, well, let's see what you can do. And I'm like, do. And I was like, and she's like, what the hell has happened? So yeah, that was pretty amazing.
That's super.
To be able to show someone in the health profession that, no, I'm not really sure what happened, but I really like it.
Well, I think for your kids, knowing that it's a genetic disorder, that it could potentially arise in them or their future children, for them to see the hope in you and not have to feel that potentially could be them.
Right. Well, my son actually has tested positive, so he does have it.
So this is
my
awesome.
daughter does not.
I mean, it's awesome that he sees that this is
calling
not
him into the right. Oh, and drinking ketones is a law in my house for him now.
I love that.
Like, you don't even have a choice. No. Like, here's your choices.
Yep.
this. So yeah. And he loves them. So it's not a problem, but it's just, and he likes how it makes him feel. And yeah, so.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you for joining me here tonight. And like Tammy and I talked about before, I'm getting messages through here. You guys, please share this. You never know who you might inspire. Maybe the story does not apply to you. Maybe you've never been stuck with a new normal that you didn't want to have. But I think everyone's had a flat tire or showed up at the grocery store without your checkbook and you have to go back home, and then the food thing. I mean, or maybe lost a job would be a new normal, or gone through a relationship breakup, or, you know, someone dying in your family, or a pet. It's all a new normal, but it's how you respond to the new normal and how you celebrate the new normal. It's how you come through things. And then that's how you keep manifesting that more and more new normals come your way. So thank you for being here. I'll watch it and cry later. Didn't think I should have asked her these questions, but I know we're going to be chatting more. We've taken us a couple weeks to get through this. So next week, we'll talk a little bit about the reboot, which we didn't talk on tonight because I have so many people, you know, getting ready to break 100 pounds fat loss, 50 pounds fat loss. And you know what? I want Tammy to, you know, make a 50-meter walk. I mean, that'll be her celebration, or 25 meters or 10 meters or 2 meters, whatever it is. But the great thing is you do have to do like Tammy is, celebrate where you are now, and celebrate all that she can do for her family and participate with friends. And even if they checked out for a bit and they're back in, you still celebrate that. So thank you. Thank you again. Tammy, someone's asking one more time for you to tell us what you have again.
Okay, it's called Hereditary Spastic, S-P-A, well, you know,
yeah.
Paraplegia.
Paraplegia.
Yeah. So it's just, you can Google it or whatever. It's just HSP. But there is another disorder that will show up, and it's called highly sensitive people or something like that. But that's not it.
Yeah, it's not it. So thank you again for joining us. And I know we'll be talking soon. And thank you again for signing and reaching more people. And you guys, please share this if you know somebody who needs to have a little hope, needs to have a little inspiration, maybe is stuck in an old normal and needs a new normal. We'd love to have you share Tammy's story with anybody that you know. So we'll be talking back soon. Drop your questions down. We'll be answering throughout the next week or however long you guys ask questions. So thanks again, Tammy. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Bye. Yep, you're welcome.